Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up with Rhinebeck. Wake up, wake up, wake up with Rhinebeck. I'm Michelle Barone.
And I'm Mark Malone.
And it's time to wake up with Rhinebeck Bank.
What a great Monday it is today. It's been a fantastic summer.
Yes, this summer's
really,
been
really
amazing.
great. But I have to tell you, so I'm coming across the bridge the other day. I'm on my way home.
The Hudson Bridge?
Mid-Hudson Bridge. And it's torrential downpour. It's one of those storms that you can barely see out of your windshield. And I'm coming across, and there's an elderly lady that has a flat tire.
Really?
And right next to her is this young gentleman. He's out there. He's changing her tire in this torrential downpour. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, what a kind thing to do.
That's so nice, wonderful, unbelievable. You know, there's a lot of kindness that goes unnoticed in the area, you know. I have to tell you, the other night I was out to dinner with my husband and my baby, and we went to one of those hibachi.
You go out with your baby too?
Oh yeah, every Friday.
Wow.
Every Friday
Take
night.
some guts.
What do you mean? It's better to, you know, they socialize with when you take them out. Anyway, we went to this hibachi restaurant. We're sitting there. We sit with this other couple, and we're having a good conversation, but long story short, we go to get our bill, and they left, and the people our server said, you know what, your bill, it's all set.
Wow.
They took care of it. They paid for our bill.
That was a really nice thing to do.
I know, isn't that nice?
Hibachi's not cheap either.
It's not cheap.
No, that's
expensive. It must have been at least $100, you know, we both got filet, so.
It's amazing. You know, there's so many good things that happen out there. Sometimes I feel like we're only hearing about the bad things.
I totally agree.
And our guest today, it's really great. He's been in the community for such a long time.
Yes.
Him and his firm actually have this initiative right now called 30 Acts of Kindness, which is really a great thing here in the Hudson Valley.
Yeah, for their 30th anniversary.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable. Such longevity, and recently won the Headliner Award from the Dutchess County.
And I believe it was for leadership.
For leadership,
yep.
Yeah. And just an amazing organization. We have Jeff Feldman here
from
today.
Feldman, Clydeman Coffee, Sapin Regenbaum, a longtime staple here in the Hudson Valley, and we'd love to bring him out and introduce him to you.
Yes,
Coming out, Jeff.
Thank you. Such a pleasure.
Welcome, Jeff. Thanks so much.
Thanks for coming. Yes. Thanks for coming out.
Thanks for So we brought a gavel for you here. We just want to make sure that you feel at home. I'll try not to.
Yeah, you got to feel at home here.
So let's talk about 30 Acts of Kindness. You know, I've heard the ads on the radio, and I've known you for a few years now. You've always been out and active in the community. Why this year 30 Acts?
It's our 30th anniversary. 30 years ago, Paul Clydeman and I started our office, and right from the get-go, in our first year, we started to sponsor local soccer teams and baseball teams and Little League and things like that.
Awesome.
So we were trying to come up with some idea of what we could do, to make more of an impact than we already do, because we do give a lot of money to different local charities, and we are all involved in different organizations. And somebody came up with the idea of 30 Acts of Kindness. So the best part about, there's a lot of good things about it, but one of the really neat things was we opened it up to all of our employees. And so they all got to suggest different organization that we wanted to make a contribution to. And because there were so many people that had input into it, the number of different local organizations that I had never heard of that are really, worthy of a contribution was amazing. So over the course of this year, we're giving money to 30 different
and 30 different organizations, that you're going to make an impact throughout the community, which is great.
Thus far, we've contributed to family services.
We love family services at Rhinebeck Bank. And
we're about to make a contribution to Abilities First. We met with those people the other day. The Honor Flight, Semper Fi,
unbelievable.
30 different names. Yeah.
So you personally, we're both on the Hospice Foundation board together, and I know that's something that you feel very passionately about. I don't know if you want to share with the audience.
Sure. In the course of a year, my partner Paul Clydeman passed away, and he was on hospice for probably about a month, and that was through the Hudson Valley Hospice. And those people, they were just incredible. The way they dealt with him and the care that they gave to him. And, I think that what each of us does in our daily life, we have a hard day, whatever. These people are going to deal with people who they know are going to die, and they're trying to make that process as peaceful and as calm, and the support that they gave both to Paul's family and to myself after Paul passed away for the next year and continuing was incredible. And then about 8 or 9 months after Paul passed away, my mother-in-law passed away down in Boca Raton, and she was in a hospice facility down there, and the care that they gave to her down there was also just absolutely amazing.
It certainly doesn't get enough attention. I mean, there's always a stigma associated with hospice, and I think the care that they provide is absolutely essential to these people at the end of life.
They make a huge difference in allowing people to either die in their home environment or the environment that they chose, comfortably with their family around, and the whole process of death and dying. They explain it to you as it's going along. They let you know what to anticipate, what's going to happen next. And I think for those people who didn't go through it before, it eliminates the fear of the unknown, and it just makes that whole process as palatable as possible.
If you have been through it with hospice, you understand, and it actually makes it an experience that isn't so horrible. It makes it a wonderful experience, actually.
So that's how I got involved.
And you've been involved for a very long time, and I think it's great. Hospice is a great organization. I want to talk about...
Yeah, tell us about your law firm. What services do you guys provide?
Well, it sounds like an oxymoron, but we're civil trial lawyers, okay? Civil meaning that we don't do criminal work, and all of us in the firm are trial lawyers. We represent people who are injured in a variety of different forms: motor vehicle accidents, products liability, work-related accidents, things like that. We do not represent people who are injured through anything in the medical field. And then the other side of our practice is we represent doctors and hospitals when they get sued for medical malpractice. And we've been representing different large organizations for, like, our longest running client is St. Luke's Newburgh. We've been representing them for 29 years.
Wow.
How did you get into that?
Yeah.
When I got out of law school, I clerked for a judge, Judge Williams, one of my mentors up in Monticello, and I got to watch a lot of trials. And then I came to work for a firm here in Poughkeepsie that did the medical malpractice defense work, and I worked there for 5 or 6 years. That's where I met Paul, and we decided we wanted to go out on our own because we had a different idea for a different business model. And we started doing the medical malpractice work and the plaintiff's personal injury work.
Wow, that's interesting.
And 30 years later, here you are.
Still doing it.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic.
Still learning.
Going back a little bit to giving back to the community, you mentioned something when we were off camera. You mentioned something about donating your time, really, for special needs.
The Challenger program, right?
Yeah, the Challenger program.
So years ago, like in the mid-90s, I had become president of LaGrange Soccer Club because my kids played soccer.
Woo,
and
soccer.
I never played, but I was able to give back, by running the club as a business as opposed to a soccer organization. And there was an MLS coach that came to run a coaching clinic at our fields at Stringham Park. And in order for him to be able to run this coaching clinic, to teach the coaches how to coach, he needed players to show the coaches how to run these drills and do things like that. So one of the players had a sibling who had special needs. He was off to the side by himself, walking with quad canes, and there was somebody next to me. I think I was involved in soccer like a year or two at that point, and somebody standing next to me who had been involved in it for a very long time, and I asked him whether there was a place for that young man to play soccer, and he just looked at me and said, "You're crazy."
And you put yourself in that kid's shoes too. I mean, how do you feel watching everybody else play the sport?
Isolated.
Yeah,
so I went back to our board and explained to them what I wanted to do, and then I consulted with some of the doctors at Children's Medical Group who are all friends, and then I got in touch with some of the people from the Arlington School District who were involved in working with kids with special needs.
All from this one student, child you saw.
And interestingly, the hardest part of putting this together was coming up with a name for the program.
Wow.
And ultimately, it was Soccer for Kids with Special Needs. And that program has been going on for almost 20 years.
Wow. Let's give it up. 20 years.
Long time, and it's not just soccer, right? I mean, there's other sports that it's evolved into.
There another family that is very involved in working with athletes with special needs is Kurt and Sharon Beal. Nashville, and they were coaching the challenge, and they still do, the Challenger baseball program. And so they approached me and said, the kids have baseball and soccer to play in the fall and in the spring, but there's nothing for them to do in the winter or the summer. And we think that, you know, a bowling program would go over well, but we don't know how to do it. So I went to the town board in LaGrange. These are all LaGrange programs. And I went to the town board in LaGrange, and the town board said, how much is it going to cost? I said, nothing. They said, why do you need us? I said, we need your insurance certificate under the Parks and Recreation Department so that Hobowl would permit the program. And they were like, fine. And so the bowling program was born. And the bowling program is incredible because not only are there kids there with special needs, I mean, I think the age limit is 25 or 30, but because it's indoors and it's air conditioned in the summer and it's comfortable in the winter, the siblings of the special needs kids are there, the parents are there, the grandparents are there, and they're all networking with different ideas, and always new relationships and new friendships have developed.
What a great program, and kudos to making it happen.
To think about doing something like that.
In LaGrange, we have a basketball program, an adult basketball program, a flag football program, a cheerleading program.
All for those with developmental disabilities.
And then you don't have to live in LaGrange.
How can they find out about these programs for families that are affected?
They can call me at the office. The phone number is 897-5199, or they can go on the Town of LaGrange's website, and there's a listing of all these programs with the contact people.
So please check it out. If you know anybody that might be able to benefit, please certainly check out or call Jeff directly. So we have a little fun game for you today, Jeff. As we do in every episode, it's going to be a little fun for me, and it's also going to put you to the test a little bit. You know, you've been a lawyer for a long time, so we're hoping you know the answers to something.
You know, not criminal though, so this is going to be a little bit of a challenge for Jeff.
I have a feeling he'll do all right.
I think so too.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to describe a famous trial.
Yes.
And then you have to name the defendant.
Okay.
All right.
Well, you have to do the gavel, remember.
All right, to get us started here. All right. All right, so this trial took place in Los Angeles, California.
Yes, this person was found not guilty of murder in 1995.
And there was a white Bronco involved, and also a famous line, if the glove does not fit, you must
acquit. I was actually on trial in Poughkeepsie and with my client in the Palace Diner when the verdict came down.
Really?
Yeah, O.J. Simpson.
Oh, there he is. Let's give it up, O.J.
Great job.
All right.
All right, number 2.
San Maria, California. This is a famous celebrity, a pop singer, accused of serving alcohol to minors and other things I really don't want to mention. You got a clue?
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson, MJ, you're getting them. That's right.
All right, this next person, the trial was in New York City, was formerly a chair on the New York Stock Exchange. Yeah. She had her own home goods. Home living collection. And
she was found guilty.
Guilty of insider trading, I believe.
Yes.
Martha Stewart.
Yes, Martha. Our good old friend Martha. I thought she was more the Susie Hamilton.
I don't think she made very much money on that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I don't think so either, but she definitely had the knowledge, right?
Exactly.
All right, let's do one more, Michelle.
Okay.
Your pick.
Let's do, this person was on trial for impeachment. And that should just give it away, you know. He was a former president charged with lying under oath and the obstruction of justice and the Lewinsky scandal.
And his wife's running for president.
Right. Yeah, she is. yes, Bill Clinton. All right.
Great job.
Thank you, Jeff. He did it. 4 out of 4.
Okay, yes. Thanks for inviting me.
Pleasure meeting us. And thank you for sharing your time with us. We hope to see you again soon. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Take care.
Take care. I want to thank Jeff Feldman for joining us today. Again, so many great things he's doing in the community along with this firm, and we want to thank him for that. Absolutely. And please feel free to follow us on wakeuprhinebeck.com. Check it out. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. We are there. We hope to see you next Monday. We're Rhinebeck Bank. Where we want you to say, I bank at Rhinebeck Bank. Rhinebeck Bank, your community bank. See you next week. See you then.